Failure is the key to success. Learn English motivation. You think success is about talent and luck. You're wrong. Dead wrong. Real success is built not on smooth victories, but on countless failures that nobody sees. The truth is, behind every shining achievement lies a story of mistakes, setbacks, and rejection. Picture this. An ordinary morning, someone spills coffee on their work papers. It feels like a disaster, but only for a moment. The mess is cleaned, the day moves on. Yet when failure is bigger, an exam missed, a job application rejected, a dream business collapsing, it feels final, like the end of the road. But is it really the end? Or is it the beginning of something deeper? Welcome to Learn English Listening. I'm Lydia, your host, and today we will explore why failure is not your enemy, but your greatest teacher. We'll travel from the dimly lit workshop of Thomas Edison to the boardrooms of Oprah Winfrey and the rocket fields of Elon Musk. Along the way, you'll learn powerful English phrases tied to their stories, phrases that don't just teach language, but unlock a new way of thinking about your own life. And before we dive in, let me ask you something. Which city are you joining us from, and what hour is it there? I'd love to know, because our stories may start in different places, but today we are connected by the same search for growth. So, if you've ever thought that your mistakes disqualify you from success, stay with me. By the end of this journey, you may discover that every setback you've lived through was not wasted. It was laying bricks for the foundation of your future. The weight of daily life is something we all carry, especially between the ages of 25 and 40. Bills pile up, work deadlines seem endless, and social media feeds remind us constantly of people who look like they are moving faster than us, winning more than us, living better than us. It's easy to feel as if everyone else is sprinting while we are stuck at the starting line. Think about that moment when you tried something new, a language, a side business, a personal goal, and the results didn't come. Maybe you studied hard for an English exam, but the grade was still disappointing. Maybe you poured energy into a project at work, only for your boss to reject it with a cold nod. Maybe you dared to dream bigger than your circumstances, only to be told you were unrealistic. And in those moments, failure does not feel like progress. It feels heavy, like a stone pressing down on your chest. It whispers that maybe you're not good enough, that maybe you should quit before embarrassing yourself again. But here's the hidden truth. Those moments of struggle are not signals to stop. They are invitations to continue, to build resilience you didn't know you had. Let me ask you something. Do you remember a time when your job felt heavier than your dreams? That memory is not just a reminder of pain. It's proof you were carrying something worth fighting for. The world rarely applauds the struggle. It claps only for the result. But between the applause and the achievement, there are months or years of quiet battles, of hidden tears, of unseen practice. That's where real transformation happens. Success is not built on easy days. It is born in the dark when nobody is watching. And yet, deep inside, there is always a small voice that refuses to stay silent. It reminds you that even the most admired people once stood in the same place of doubt. They too felt the sting of failure and the loneliness of trying again when nobody believed in them. That voice is the seed of courage. And this is why the story of failure matters. Because what you call failure today might just be the chapter that tomorrow's victory is written upon. Here's the hidden truth that most people never want to admit. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the raw material from which success is built. The sooner we accept this, the faster we grow. Let's take a journey back in time to the workshop of Thomas Edison. The air smells of oil and metal. Wires are scattered across the floor. He has tried again and again to create the electric light bulb. One attempt burns out too quickly. Another explodes. Another refuses to glow at all. He is ridiculed by newspapers, laughed at by skeptics, doubted by investors. By the time he succeeds, Edison has recorded over 1,000 failed experiments. But he refuses to call them failures. Instead, he calls them steps forward. This brings us to our first English phrase. Failure is success in progress. Edison understood that every mistake was simply progress in disguise. Our second phrase is trial and error. This means solving a problem by trying many methods, learning from each mistake until you discover what works. Edison embodied trial and error as few others ever have. The third phrase is, keep your chin up. It's an expression used to encourage someone not to lose hope after failure. Imagine Edison in his dim workshop, exhausted, yet keeping his chin up because he believed the breakthrough was near. Do you see the key? Failure doesn't close doors. It chisels the path forward. Without those 1,000 so-called mistakes, there would have been no light bulb, no revolution of modern life, no illumination for the world. Edison's story reminds us that persistence is not glamorous. It is sweat, exhaustion, and the courage to rise when the world expects you to collapse. Every flicker of a failed bulb was a silent rehearsal for the moment light would finally fill the room. Success, when it came, was not sudden. It was the reward of relentless resilience. The hidden key is this: each failure carries information. If you treat mistakes as teachers, not enemies, they guide you more precisely than success ever could. Success whispers comfort, but failure shouts instruction. And those who listen to failure's voice are the ones who eventually change the world. Now let's fast forward to a story that feels closer, raw, and perhaps even more painful. Elon Musk, a man known today for electric cars and reusable rockets, once stood at the edge of complete collapse. It was 2008. SpaceX had launched 3 rockets. All 3 had exploded or failed before reaching orbit. Each failure drained money, time, and trust. Musk had invested nearly everything he owned. The press mocked him. Investors doubted him. Even close friends advised him to stop before he lost everything. And yet, instead of surrendering, Musk prepared for a 4th attempt. Imagine the pressure. If the rocket failed again, SpaceX would die. Tesla would likely fall with it, and his reputation would be gone. This is where our next English phrase comes alive: against all odds. It means trying to succeed when the chances seem almost impossible. Musk pushed forward against all odds, believing one more try could change history. Another phrase is burn the boats. It comes from an old story of warriors who, upon reaching enemy shores, burned their own ships so retreat was impossible. Musk burned his boats. There was no turning back. He put everything into that 4th launch. And then it happened. The rocket soared into the sky and finally reached orbit. Relief turned into triumph. SpaceX survived. Tesla lived. The future of private space travel was reborn. Let me ask you, if tomorrow gave you a fresh start, what would you do differently? This is the crossroad Musk faced. He could have given up, but instead he chose to step into the unknown once more. That day proved something powerful. Failure only destroys those who stop trying. For those who rise again, failure becomes the very soil in which greatness grows. The silence before that fourth launch was heavier than any speech could capture. Imagine standing on the edge of your dreams, knowing one more failure could erase your future forever. The crowd watching saw only a rocket, but Musk carried the weight of survival itself. And when it rose into the sky, it carried not just machinery, but defiance. Failure often feels like a storm. It shakes the ground, uproots our plans, and leaves us drenched in doubt. But storms are not only destructive. They water the soil, they clear the air, and they prepare the ground for new growth. Think of a garden. Seeds buried under the earth need rain, even heavy rain, to grow roots. In the same way, our failures are not punishments. They are nourishment, forcing us to grow deeper, stronger, and more resilient. Take Oprah Winfrey as an example. And sat down, seen some. Early in her career, she was told she was unfit for television. She was removed from her first reporting job and left humiliated. But instead of letting rejection define her, she transformed pain into power. Each no became fuel for her determination. Today, she is one of the most influential voices in the world, a symbol that setbacks can be the very soil of success. And here's the reframe. When you fail, don't say, I lost. Say, I learned. Each mistake teaches you something about timing, preparation, or endurance. Each rejection sharpens your vision. Each delay strengthens your patience. So instead of fearing failure, embrace it as rain on your garden. You may not see the results right away, but beneath the surface, roots are spreading, foundations are strengthening, and something extraordinary is preparing to bloom. The truth is, every garden looks barren before the first bloom. Failures feel the same. They disguise themselves as emptiness until time reveals what has been growing beneath. Oprah's tears off camera were not wasted. They watered her vision. Just like seeds in the soil, the pain you hide today may already be shaping tomorrow's beauty. Edison, Musk, and Oprah. 3 names from different centuries, different worlds, but carrying the same lesson. Failure was not their enemy. It was their teacher, their foundation, and ultimately their path to impact millions of lives. Now, here you are, listening to this story. Perhaps you have faced your own setbacks, an exam that didn't go as planned, a job application that ended in silence, a project that collapsed before it could shine. Those moments hurt, yes, but they do not define you. What defines you is what you do next. So here is your question. At this moment, you stand between giving up after failure and trying one more time. Which path will you take? This is the crossroad of growth. Comfort tells you to step back, but courage invites you forward. The choice is yours, and only yours. If this video gave you something meaningful, share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And subscribe to keep walking with us on this journey of English and self-growth. Because each story we tell is not just about learning new words. It's about shaping new lives, starting with your own. Remember this, failure does not close your story. It writes the first line of your next chapter.